Hi, back in the little camper. I just wanted to share some of the things that I found out in my research the past few days. Again, this is not just a weekend camper for me. This is something that I want to be able to live in for significant periods of time. And I don't want to have to be on grid all the time. I want to be able to be off grid at least for a few days at a time. And I'm looking into solar power to do that. You don't realize really how much electricity you use until you start designing a solar power system. Coffee maker, 1500 watts. Hot plates are about 1500 watts. Portable heaters, electric heaters, 750 to 1500 watts. I was looking at or considering taking out the propane. I'm not crazy about the idea of driving around with 20-pound bombs attached to my car. I know people have done it for 50, 60, 70 years, but it just makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So I was going to take out the propane, which would also allow me to take out the propane stove and give me, all of this storage space in the kitchen, which I might need for water supply. After doing some research on electricity and how hard it is to get enough electricity for heat, really is the big thing, I think I'm going to keep the propane. It's the most efficient heater that I found is 400 watts, which isn't bad. I also really, really want my electric blanket, which is 180 watts. I'll have a laptop computer, a TV every now and then. I don't watch TV a lot, but I do like to watch movies sometimes. And if I am out in the middle of nowhere and it's raining and it's cold, I might want to just snuggle up on my bed with a movie for a couple of hours. So I want to have enough power to be able to do those things. I'm looking at a 1200 to 1500 watt system simply because of battery storage. Batteries are very, very expensive. And the amount of solar panels I would need. I'm thinking with a 1200 watt system, I'll want 200 watt panels. It'll take 6 hours to charge in full sunlight. So, I'm trying to keep all of those things in mind as I'm planning this and designing this. Also, this is my first camper project, and it's fun. I like doing it. And this is very small. This is a 13-foot camper, so the interior is about 12 feet by 6 feet of actual usable space. And if I do decide to do this like long term, which kind of is my ultimate goal, I eventually will probably want something a little bit bigger. So this really is a project camper for me. It's a project for me to have something that I want to do, that I will use, but it's also to build my skills. So I probably will be selling it at some point, in which case keeping the propane heat and the propane stove will be beneficial when I go to sell it. Most people are not going to want to be full solar, and they're probably not going to want to pay what I would have to charge to recoup the cost of setting up the solar system. So when I sell it, I will take out the solar power that I put into it and put that into the next camper and sell it just with the propane and the electric hookups that it already has. The other thing is the siding. I looked online trying to find replacement siding. It's not easy to find. There's no camper siding store. Even the camper appliance stores and the camper part stores don't really sell siding, and they're all different. So I went to, basically what you end up doing is going to an aluminum manufacturer, telling them what you need, seeing what they have. You got to send them pictures. You can't just go online and say, how much is a 5x6 sheet of aluminum in this pattern? It's just not out there. So I went to the local RV parts and service place and asked them what they have, and they basically do the same thing. They have suppliers that they work with. They send them a picture so they can try to match what they have in stock. It's probably not actually going to match what you've got. And we didn't even get to how much is the actual aluminum, because he told me the shipping costs. And he said the last person that ordered aluminum siding, their shipping costs were over $300. That's more than I want to spend on one side of siding. My solar system is probably going to be about $1,000 by the time it's finished. So I asked him, is there anything that will repair siding? And there is this tape stuff That's long-term, permanent, waterproof, all of that. So I kind of looked at that, thinking about maybe the space that I have to repair is not huge, but it's a tear. And so I started thinking about Bondo. You know, it works on cars. Why wouldn't it work on siding? So I think I'm going to try the Bondo route and see how that works before I really look into, do I want to spend, you know, $400, $500, $600 to replace the siding. So that's where I think I'm going to go with that. So I'll let you know. The problem is with Bondo, it has to be 75 degrees. That's the best working temperature for it. And by the time it gets to be 75 degrees here, I want to be out on the road already. So I'll have to look at maybe renting a gun heater or something like that for the garage when I get to that. So we'll see how that goes.